Emma, let me ask you a simple question. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Give me a second.
A second?
Yes, I'm translating it in my head.
Ah, there it is.
What?
The problem many English learners have. They hear an English question, then their brain says, wait, let me translate this first.
And by the time you finish translating the question, the other person is already waiting for your answer.
Exactly.
So today, we're going to practice something very important, answering English questions without translating every word in your head.
And no, we're not asking you to become a genius overnight.
Thank goodness.
We're simply going to train your brain to understand the question and respond more naturally.
Hey everyone, welcome back to English Series 30 Days.
You made it to day 7.
1 whole week of English practice. That's something to be proud of.
And today's lesson is especially useful if you understand English but sometimes take too long to answer.
Maybe you understand the question.
But you translate it into your first language.
Think about the answer.
Translate your answer back into English.
And then finally say yes.
Exactly.
Today, we're going to make that process faster and more natural.
Emma, let's test you.
Oh no.
Don't worry, it's easy.
That's what people say before a difficult question.
Okay, what's your favorite drink?
Coffee.
See, that was fast.
Because you asked an easy question.
Fine. What did you do yesterday evening?
I watched a movie.
What movie? You were fast at first.
I know, you added a difficult question.
But did you translate the question?
Not really. I understood it immediately.
Why?
Because I've heard that kind of question many times.
Exactly. Your brain already knows the pattern.
And that's what we want for our learners. We want common English questions to become familiar.
So when someone asks you, what do you usually do on weekends? You don't need to translate every word.
You understand the idea and answer.
I think there's a misunderstanding about learning English.
What do you mean?
Many learners think they need to understand every single word before they can answer.
Yes, and sometimes that slows them down.
Imagine someone asks, what kind of music do you like?
You don't need to think about every word separately.
Right. You recognize the whole question.
What kind of music do you like means the person wants to know your music preference.
Then you can simply say, I like pop music, or I enjoy traditional music.
You understand the question as a whole instead of translating word by word.
And that is one of the skills we're practicing today.
So here's the big question for today. How can you answer English questions faster without translating everything in your head?
I think the first step is simple. Listen for the meaning, not every individual word.
I agree, but I think there's another important part.
What?
Practice answering common questions again and again.
Absolutely.
Because when you hear the same question many times, your brain starts recognizing it automatically.
And eventually, you don't need to translate.
Exactly. Let's start with a very common question. Where do you live? Simple.
What should a learner do?
Don't think, where do you live, and translate each word.
Instead,
Understand the meaning. Someone wants to know your home or city.
then answer naturally. I live in Mogadishu.
Or, I live in Nairobi.
Or I live in a small town near the coast.
The important thing is that you respond to the idea.
Another useful question is, what do you do?
That can mean different things depending on the situation.
Exactly. If someone asks about your job, you might say, I'm a teacher.
Or, I work in an office.
If someone asks, what are you doing? That's different.
Right. Then you might say, I'm studying English.
So sometimes English learners translate too much because they are worried about choosing the perfect answer.
Yes, they stop and think, what exactly does this question mean?
And sometimes the situation already gives you the answer.
That's a really important point. Daniel, do you think learners should try to make long answers?
Not always.
I agree.
If someone asks, what do you do in your free time? You don't need to give a 5-minute speech.
You can say, I usually watch movies and listen to music.
Then, if the person asks another question, you can continue.
Exactly. Conversation is not an exam.
That's worth repeating.
Conversation is not an exam.
You don't have to give the perfect answer.
You just need to communicate.
You know, when I was learning another language, I made this mistake all the time.
Really?
Yes. Someone would ask me a simple question, and I would think too much.
What kind of question?
Something like, Did you enjoy your weekend?
That's very simple.
Exactly, but I wanted to give a perfect answer.
So what happened?
I would think, should I say yes, I did? Should I explain why? Should I use the past tense correctly?
Oh, wow.
And while I was thinking, the conversation became uncomfortable.
I know that feeling.
Later, I realized that a simple answer was enough.
Yes, I did. It was great.
Exactly.
And if the person wants more information, they can ask another question.
Right.
I had a similar experience.
Tell us.
Someone once asked me, "What did you do last weekend?"
Very common question.
I knew exactly what they were asking, but I wanted to give a very detailed answer.
What did you say?
I started talking about everything.
Everything?
Everything. Where I went, who I met, what I ate, what time I came home.
They asked one question.
I know. After 2 minutes, I realized I was telling a whole story.
Was that bad?
Not really, but I learned something. Sometimes a short answer is better.
Exactly. You can always add more later.
I actually think learners should try to give longer answers.
I'm not completely sure about that.
Why not?
Because if someone is still building confidence, long answers can create more pressure.
That's true.
Imagine someone asks, "What do you like to do on weekends?"
Okay.
A beginner might say, "I like watching movies."
Good answer.
They don't need to immediately explain which movies, where they watch them, who they watch with, and why.
I see what you mean.
Start small. If the conversation continues, add more.
But I still think longer answers are useful for improving fluency.
Definitely. Just not every time.
So maybe the rule is start with a simple answer, then expand if you can.
Exactly.
That's a good balance. Let's imagine you're at home with a family member.
They ask, "What are you doing?"
You can answer, I'm watching TV.
Or, "I'm studying."
No need to translate the question first.
Just understand it and respond. Now imagine your teacher asks, "Why are you learning English?"
You could say, because I want to speak English confidently.
Or, "I need English for my studies."
Or even, I want to communicate with people from different countries.
All of those are good answers.
Your coworker asks, are you busy right now?
You can say, "Yes, I'm a little busy."
Or, not really, what's up?
That second answer is very natural.
Exactly. And what's up is a useful way to ask why someone is talking to you.
Your friend asks, "Do you want to go out tonight?"
You could say, sure, what time?
Or, "Sorry, I can't tonight."
Or maybe, where are you going?
Notice something?
The answers are short.
Yes, real conversations often begin with short answers.
A shop assistant asks, "Can I help you?"
You don't need to translate.
You can say, "Yes, I'm looking for a pair of shoes."
Or, "No thank you, I'm just looking."
That's a very useful sentence.
Imagine you're at an airport.
Someone asks, "Where are you flying today?"
You could say, "I'm flying to Dubai."
Simple.
Or someone asks, "Do you have your passport?"
Yes, here it is.
Again, no complicated thinking.
Emma, why do you think people translate in their heads?
I think it often comes from how they studied English.
Explain that.
Maybe they learned English by translating sentences from their first language.
That makes sense.
So when they hear English, their brain naturally tries to go back to the first language.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they're bad at English.
Absolutely not.
It just means their brain has developed a habit.
And habits can change.
Exactly.
How can someone change that habit?
Start with very easy questions.
Such as,
What's your name?
where are you from?
What do you like?
What did you do today?
What are you doing now?
What do you usually do on weekends?
Practice answering them quickly.
Even if you're alone.
Yes, you can practice with yourself.
That sounds a little strange.
Maybe, but it works.
What would that look like?
You ask yourself, what did I do today?
And then answer?
I went to work. I had lunch with a friend, then I came home.
That's easy.
Exactly. You're training your brain to connect the question directly to the answer.
Some learners hear the phrase, think in English, and feel nervous.
Yes, because they think they have to spend the whole day thinking in English.
But that's not necessary.
Start with small moments.
For example,
When you see your phone, think, my phone is on the table.
when you're hungry, think, I'm hungry. I need something to eat.
When you're leaving home, think, where are my keys?
That's actually very practical.
You're connecting English directly to real life.
instead of thinking in your first language and translating everything.
Exactly.
Now, let's learn 2 useful words.
The first word is respond.
To respond means to answer or react to something someone says or asks.
For example, she asked me a question and I responded quickly.
The second word is habit.
A habit is something you do regularly, often without thinking about it.
For example, translating every sentence can become a habit. And remember, a habit can change with practice.
Slowly, your brain can become more comfortable responding directly in English.
Now, let's look at some natural English.
I need time for thinking before answering is unnatural.
A more natural sentence is, I need some time to think before I answer.
Another example, what is your opinion about this?
A more natural everyday expression is, what do you think about this?
Both versions may communicate the idea, but the second one sound more natural in everyday conversation.
And natural English is what we're practicing throughout the series.
Another useful expression is, give me a second.
It means a natural way to ask someone for a very short amount of time.
For example, give me a second. I'm trying to remember his name.
Another useful expression is, it depends.
Use this when the answer changes according to the situation.
For example, do you eat out often?
It depends. Sometimes I cook at home. It depends is extremely useful because you don't always have to give a simple yes or no.
Exactly. It gives you a little time to think, too. Okay, Emma, let's imagine we're meeting for the first time at a coffee shop.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to ask you several questions.
Okay.
Remember, answer naturally. Don't think too much.
No pressure.
Ready?
Ready.
Hi, is this seat free?
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Thanks. What's your name?
I'm Emma. What about you?
I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you from?
I'm from Somalia. How about you?
I'm from Canada. What do you do?
I'm a teacher.
Really? What do you teach?
English.
Oh, nice. Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I do. I really enjoy helping people learn.
What do you usually do after work?
I usually go home and relax.
Do you watch TV?
Sometimes.
What kind of shows do you like?
I like comedies
Why?
because they help me relax.
Do you like going out with friends?
Yes, but it depends
On what?
on how tired I am.
Fair enough.
What about you?
I like meeting friends after work.
Every day?
No. I need some quiet time too.
Good answer.
What would you do if you had a completely free day? Take your time.
I'd probably sleep a little late, have a nice breakfast, and then go somewhere quiet.
That sounds relaxing.
What about you?
I'd probably travel somewhere.
Of course you would.
Why, of course?
Because you always talk about traveling.
That's true. Now it's your turn.
Don't worry about giving perfect answers. The goal is to respond naturally.
What do you usually do after you wake up?
Take your time. Think about your answer and say it out loud.
Try to answer without translating every word. Just think about your routine and speak.
You could begin with, I usually, and continue with your own ideas. What did you do yesterday?
Great. Now answer with your own ideas. Don't worry about making mistakes.
Try to answer in 2 or 3 sentences.
And remember, short answers are okay. You can always add more. So, Emma, what was today's big lesson?
Don't translate every English question word by word.
Instead,
Understand the question as a whole and respond to the meaning.
we also learned 2 useful words, respond and habit.
And 2 useful expressions, give me a second and it depends.
And perhaps the most important thing.
Don't wait for perfect English before you speak.
Exactly. Start with a simple answer.
Then add more if you want.
Little by little, your brain will become faster.
Before we finish, here's something interesting for you to think about.
If you could stop translating English in your head completely, what would you feel more confident doing? Speaking with friends? Traveling? Talking at work? Making new friends? Think about your answer and share it in the comments. And just like that, you've completed day 7 of our 30-day English series.
1 week done. Great job.
If today's lesson helped you, give the video a like and subscribe so you can continue practicing with us.
And don't keep your English practice to yourself. Share this lesson with a friend who is also learning English.
Most importantly, practice answering questions without translating. Start with simple questions and give yourself permission to make mistakes.
Your goal isn't perfect English. Your goal is to communicate more naturally.
And tomorrow, we'll continue with day 8 of our 30-day English series.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.